Okay, let's try another one for number 2. Same thing, I just want you to reduce if possible. Okay, for number 2, 5x squared plus 18x minus 8 over 10x squared minus x minus 2. Okay, so 5x squared plus 18x minus 8 divided by 10x squared minus x minus 2. Okay, so all we're looking to do is just reduce.
Do you have Davey and Miranda in your class?
Yes. Okay, so first we're going to just factor. Okay, in the numerator, in the top, what do you know has to be at the beginning of the parentheses? A 1 and a 5, so a 1x and a 5x. Now, in the back, you have a couple more options. Okay, the only thing that would multiply to 5 is 1 and 5. But in the back, it could be 1 and 8 or 2 and 4. Okay, so list these if you need to. Okay, now, what do I want to pick for the back? The 1 and 8 or the 2 and 4? You want to go 2 and 4? Okay. Say it again, Amanda. So, which one do you want to do first? The 2 in the first one or the 4? The 4 and then the 2 here? Okay. If you check these, we'd get 20x. Check this, we get 2x. Can I get 20 and 2 to give you an 18? Yes. This first one is positive. So positive and then negative. Did we?
Yeah.
I just randomly picked them, sorry. Well, good then, it should be nice and easy. But you haven't done this one yet, right? Okay. So this one, now let's factor again. Okay, if we factor again, what do you know about this one? Do you know what the front numbers have to be?
No, you don't.
No, so you're either going to use 1 and 10 or 5 and 2. Which ones would we like to pick?
5 and 2.
5 and 2. So 5x and 2x. And you know in the back it has to be a 1 and a 2. Now, can the 2 possibly be in the second one? No, because it already has a 2, so that would indicate that you could have taken on GCF, and we couldn't at the beginning. So you know that this would have to be a 2 and a 1. If you check your work, you should know that this is going to be negative, this one's going to be positive. So, what can I reduce here?
5x minus.
Can the 5x plus 2 and the 5x minus 2 cancel each other out? No, they cannot reduce each other away. So since they cannot reduce, we're done. This is simplified. Okay, we are done. Now, you do need to know is to leave answers in simplified form. Okay, leave answers in simplified form. And simplified form means factored. Yes.
What if you had put 2x in the first
Can you scoot it?
and 5x in the other one?
Get over.
5x minus 5.
No, not if you check your n. If you check the signs. The signs don't work there. It would end up being a positive in the middle. Is that what you're saying?
Can you explain that? Because I don't.
What? How did you have it factored?
I put 2x plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
5x minus 2.
Okay, that doesn't work. Because if you multiply these together, you'd get a positive 5x and a negative 4x. So you'd get an overall positive 1x. That's why. So you just have the signs backwards. Okay, questions so far? No? Great. Next thing I want you to do is your instructions are going to tell you to multiply. Okay? So for number 3, if I want you to multiply together a cubed minus 6a squared over a squared plus 2a minus 3 multiplied by a squared minus 2a plus 1 over a cubed.
What in the world is this?
A cubed minus 6a squared divided by a squared plus 2a minus 3 multiplied by a squared minus 2a plus 1 divided by a cubed. Now, just a minute ago, cross multiplying is only when you're solving something. This has no equals, so we're not solving for anything. Okay, so just a minute ago, I just gave you some rules. Okay, I told you we factor and then we reduce. Okay, this one is the same thing. I'm just going to add in one more step. Okay, first step is still going to be to factor. Second step is still going to be reduce. And third step is to actually multiply. Okay, so factor, reduce, and then just multiply. So, for the top one, how can I factor a cubed minus 6a squared?
A squared.
Take out a GCF of a squared. So take out a squared. Left behind would be a minus 6 over, in the bottom, this is going to break down. What are your signs going to be in the first denominator? If it's minus at the end, you have to have one of each. So what multiplies to 3 adds to 2?
1 and 2.
Multiply to 3, so positive 3, negative 1. Then times, you want to factor the second part. Okay, if we factor that second part, since it's plus at the end, they're both going to be the same as the middle, so both negative. What multiplies to 1 adds to 2 has to be 1 and 1. So a minus 1 and another a minus 1. And in the denominator, we still have a cubed. Now, so we factored. The next part where you reduce, okay? I want you to write yourself a note. When you reduce, you can reduce anything on top with anything on bottom. Okay, so that means it doesn't have to be in the same fraction. Okay, so that means you can cross reduce. Okay, as long as you're canceling out or reducing something on the top with something on the bottom. Okay, so here, what can reduce? One of the a minus ones. Can I cancel out both of them? No, just one of them. And can anything else reduce?
No.
This a squared can cancel out 2 of them that are on the bottom.
Son of a biscuit.
Now I want you to multiply. Now, when I say multiply, I want you to write it like a multiplication problem, but I want you to leave it simplified. So that means leave it in factored form. So, what's left on the top is a minus 6 and an a minus 1. And in the denominator, what's left is an a plus 3 and just an a. Now, if you have a single variable by itself, something single, it goes out front. Do not put it at the back. Okay, just write it in front. And that's your answer. Okay, leave your answers in factored form. Okay, in simplified form, that means factored form. And then the last one that we're going to do is a divide problem. Okay, your instructions are going to tell you to divide. Okay, if I give you the problem, x squared minus 4x minus 21 over 5x plus 15 divided by x squared plus 3x minus 70 over x squared minus 100. Yes. Okay, now your instructions are, or your steps are almost the same as for multiply. Okay, we're still going to factor. 2 is reduce. And 3 is still multiply. Okay, so they're exactly the same as a multiply problem. So So first we're going to start by factoring. Okay, this numerator. What are your signs going to be in your parentheses? One of each. One positive, one negative. What will multiply to 21, add to negative 4? Negative 7, positive 3. In the denominator, take out a GCF. You can take out a GCF of 5. And left behind would be x plus 3. Now, what's different here is before we can reduce and multiply, okay, before we can reduce, we want to turn this into a multiplication problem. So does anyone know how you turn this into a multiplication problem?
Flip the second.
It's called KFC, okay? KFC means keep, okay? Then flip, so flip the second one. So when I'm doing this, this is actually going to become what? I'm going to factor here first. So the denominator goes on the top. This one goes on the bottom. Okay, so we're going to flip this. Now, if you choose to write this separately first and then factor, that's fine. But I'm going to do them both in the same step because you can. Okay, so x squared minus 100 factors to be what? X plus 10 and x minus 10. Now, do you understand at the same time I'm flipping this? Okay, so flip it. I'm going to flip it at the same time. And then the denominator will now be what? What factors to give you that?
Oh, goodness. 3 and 10.
What multiplies to 70 adds to 3? Positive 10, negative 7. Okay, so make sure if you're doing a divide problem, you're flipping it while you're factoring. Okay, factor it while you're factoring. Or excuse me, flip it while you're factoring. Now we can reduce things. And then, so we kept the first one, flip the second one, change to multiply. Okay, so when you flip it, that changes to multiply. Now, what's going to reduce away here? The x minus 7 reduces. Anything else?
X plus 3.
The x plus 10 and the x plus 3's. So multiply what's left together. That'll be an x minus 10 over 5. Now, can I reduce the 10 and the 5? No, you cannot reduce it because the top one is attached by a plus or minus. Okay, you cannot reduce things away that are attached by a plus or minus. Homework for this objective is going to be out of the book. You're going to be working on page 577, and I'll put it up here in just a second. 577, you're doing numbers 9 through 19 odd, number 20, and then 25 to 43 odd. Okay, page 577, numbers 9 through 19 odd, number 20, and then 25 to 43 odd.